I bought this cabin to escape people like Karen. No loud neighbors, no board meetings, no surprise inspections. Just me, my wife Laura, and the sound of wind through the trees. But somehow, HOA Karen found us anyway, and when she came screaming up our driveway to demand an inspection, she had no idea my wife was about to hand her something that would shut her down for good. It started on a quiet Friday morning, the kind where you can hear the birds arguing before the coffee even brews. Our cabin sits on the edge of a private lake, rustic, peaceful, technically within the boundary of a luxury development about 10 minutes down the hill. But our place was built before the HOA even existed. We've always kept to ourselves. We pay what's required and we never cause trouble. Until last month, when Karen became the new HOA president. I was stacking firewood by the shed when I heard it. A golf cart of all things, tearing up our gravel path like it was the Indy 500. I turned just in time to see it. Chrome mirror, HOA decal, and Karen in a neon pink windbreaker. She didn't even get out before barking orders. You can't build structures without approval. That shed is not in compliance. Laura stepped outside with a mug of tea, raised an eyebrow, and calmly asked, "Karen, what are you doing here?" "Conducting an inspection. You didn't file the secondary usage form. That compost pile? Illegal. And this firewood? That's a fire hazard. I could write you up right now." Karen didn't just want to inspect. She wanted to invade. She demanded access to our garage, our crawl space, even our septic tank. I tried to explain, calmly, that our property wasn't subject to random inspections without formal notice. But Karen waved her clipboard like it was a badge. "I'm the HOA president. I can inspect whatever I want, whenever I want." I could see Laura tense up. Her tea was still steaming, untouched. That's when my wife, cool as ever, turned the tables. Laura walked back inside. No yelling, no drama. Just a calm walk to the drawer in the hallway. She pulled out a document, folded it neatly, and walked back out onto the porch. Karen was halfway through another rant when Laura raised a single hand. "Karen, you'll want to read this." Karen took it like it might explode. Her eyes scanned the first line, then the second. And then she went silent. It was a court-issued warrant. Not for us, but for her. A temporary restraining order against unauthorized inspections, granted after Karen had already violated protocol twice in the past month. You filed a motion?" "We spoke with our lawyer. You were warned. Twice." Karen opened her mouth to argue, but no words came out. She looked like someone had just unplugged her brain. For the first time since she arrived, Karen didn't say a word. She glanced down at her clipboard, then at the warrant, then back at Laura, and realized she had no authority here, no backup, no HOA security, just the sound of wind in the trees and a paper that said, in bold print, "No unauthorized entry permitted." I leaned against the railing and added, "You'll also want to return that violation notice you posted last week. The judge called that trespassing." Karen's face turned a shade of red I've only seen in cartoons. She mumbled something about calling the board and reviewing the bylaws, but her voice cracked halfway through. Then she turned and walked back to her golf cart. No more shouting, no more clipboard, just the crunch of gravel under retreating tires. Laura sat beside me, sipping her tea like nothing happened. "You planned this." I read the bylaws. She didn't. We found out later that Karen had pulled the same stunt on 2 other properties near the lake. One of them was a retired judge. The other? A lawyer. She tried to throw her weight around and ended up getting suspended by the HOA board within the week. Apparently, screaming about compost piles and inspecting septic tanks doesn't go over too well when you skip every legal step in the book. I moved out here to avoid drama. To sit under the stars, split logs, and breathe air that didn't smell like exhaust and entitlement. But no matter where you go, people like Karen always try to control something that isn't theirs. Luckily, I married someone who reads everything, especially the fine print. So if Karen ever decides to make another surprise visit, let's just say, the only thing she'll be inspecting is her own court date. The woods are quiet again. No golf carts, no screaming, just a fresh stack of firewood and a laminated copy of the court order by our front door, just in case.